And hello and welcome back again to all our audience to Rejuvenate 2021 Edition 1. We have our next guest with us all the way from London, and he is our last guest of the day, Mr. Pendar Vatanian, founder of Mind Your Footprint. And welcome, sir. How are you doing today?
Hello. Good, good evening. I think most of your guests are this evening for them, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Um, Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very good. I'm fine.
Good, great. And I hope you are staying safe and well in London, and the situation is hopefully manageable for you.
Well, yes, I actually live in countryside, in the country, as they call it in the UK, just 50 minutes outside of London. We moved out of London when my daughter was young, and the main reason for that was I mean, being in this field, one of the things that has been bothering me for years is air pollution, and being in a major city like London, you have that's one of the big issues, and and other pollutions really for young people. So we moved outside of London to be in the country. So I think um, uh, we are very lucky because of the green space around us,
Oh,
and the lockdown last year proved another benefit of being outside of a major city. So yeah,
I'm sure it's beautiful out in the country. Now, without
it's
further
it's
ado,
beautiful out in the country, yes, but it's I mean it's difficult wherever you are really, because I mean it's different. So you have other um, type of lifestyle during the lockdown, particularly for children, I suppose.
yeah, that's true. We will get to that point in a short while, but I guess just to get everyone up to speed, you know, who is Panda? I think everyone will be
Well,
interested to know, and what does Mind Your Footprint do? I mean, what are you guys all about? Please enlighten us.
well, I am. Um, well, Obviously, my name is Pendar Vatanian, and I'm a co-founder of a non-profit organization, Mind Your Footprint, which is into educating or entertaining and educating and empowering children to become eco warriors, or as we say these days, eco subconscious, which I will explain to you later on what I mean by eco subconscious. Um, we I started this organization over a decade ago, to be more precise, in 2009 with my wife and partner. And since then, we've been creating material for children to entertain them and educate them without um, them being bored, if you like, in the traditional uh, education. So we create kind of like games and engaging material, so they learn without noticing they're learning. So that's the aim, and we've since then we've created dozens of materials for different topics like biodiversity, transport, um, water, plastic ocean, waste, you just name it, around different topics. And then we've been distributing this to schools for free.
And
That's what
and
we've been
you
doing in Mind the Footprint.
and you and your wife have got no education background in the sense of did,
Well, I'm system engineer. by education. So and I've been auditing environmental management system of organizations for a very long time, so probably nearly 20 years now. I've been and I've started my first campaign when I was 13 years old, which was about air pollution. And so I've been in this space for a long time. I've had education, environmental related education, in different forms and shape, really. I mean, very specific trainings for a particular topic within the environmental management system, if you like, and for organizational or leadership management of sustainability as well. Yeah, and so does my my wife, really. I mean, she's been in this space for a very long time. Yes.
So 10 years with Mind Your Footprint. Has there been any point in time you guys looked at each other and said, you know what, this is not worth the time, this is too much of an effort, not enough support from, you know, whether it's stakeholders or partners? I mean, I'm looking at your website and it says here that you've got no office, no full-time employees. How have you been sustaining it for the last 10 years? I mean, what's the secret behind this?
Well, it is funny you ask. I mean, we've looked at each other and thought of that many times, to be honest with you. So there's been lots of ups and downs, and we even moved countries. So we even changed countries because of that reason, in the hope of having more support from in other parts of the world. Really, we started this when we were resident of Dubai, so we were living in Dubai, and we started this because we were bothered by the footprint we had, and when we were in Dubai, which at the time we had the biggest carbon per capita footprint. I don't know really these days. Should be the same, I suppose. And we started there by educating people or informing people with very simple ways that they can manage their carbon footprint. So we started this website just telling them like daily steps they can take, very easy things like as easy as switching off the light, for instance, and then at some point we thought, if we want to communicate to people more effectively, we need perhaps some tools. So we created this character, which you can see on Mind Your Footprint's website, called Footkin. Yes, which at the time was called Footfella. And we created this character to communicate to people more effectively. And the character, and we created a story for the character. So the background story, where it's coming from, and what Footkin is doing on planet Earth, etc., etc. And then we created a page for him for Footkin on Facebook, and it became very popular. And then we thought perhaps we should concentrate more on the for a little while. We should concentrate more on the character. So we started creating stories and activity books with the help of character, which became very much popular among children. And a couple of things happened at that point. I mean, firstly, we shifted our we started we realized if we really want to make a bigger effect, we should really focus on children rather than adults, because of many reasons. I don't need to explained to you, I mean, we all agree. I mean, firstly, they are the next generation, and if you educate them properly, then they will be the decision makers in a few years' time. So, and then the second thing was with adults. The best you can get from an adult is for them to become eco-conscious. I mean, yourself and and all the people perhaps listening to this, or eco-conscious people, which is the best you can get from adults, which is basically so you are taking care of the environment when you're conscious, but not when you're on autopilot. But with children, I mean, one of the theories that we've been considering in our education is basically about your subconscious. So your subconscious forms in the first 7 to 8 years of your life. So if whatever you learn during that time will stay with you all the time. So whatever is in your subconscious, then that shapes your whole behavior during the day. So 95% of time throughout the day, we make decisions based on our subconscious rather than conscious. So I mean, if you like to study more about this, Dr. Bruce Lipton is ahead of everyone, I think, in this space. So he explains it very well, how your subconscious forms. So we thought if we focus on children, and particularly young children, and if we can shape their subconscious, I mean, entertain them in a way that something sits with them, they will become eco-subconscious. It's a word that I created myself. So, so when you're eco-subconscious, then you can expect to do everything for the benefit of the environment. So when you make a decision, even if you're busy with something else, even if you're on the phone, even if your conscious is busy doing other things, still your subconscious is there to consider environment in your decision making, if you like. So imagine if we go for shopping, and then you're on the phone, or something urgent happens, and then you've got two choices of two products, which is one more eco-friendly, if you like.
Friendly, yeah.
Yeah, but not really for something very obvious that you've been thinking of or working on, like, I don't know, big plastic box, for example. So if it's a big plastic package, it's already in your subconscious, because one other way for shaping, so having something in subconscious apart from that 7-8 years, is repetition. So if something repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats, and you hear and see it everywhere in the social media and in the news, etc., then it will go. It will sit in your subconscious. So I think like something like plastic packaging at the moment for us is sitting there, whether you've been learning about it at a very young age or not, doesn't matter, because of the repetition, if you know what I mean. And that's what we do again in Mind Your Footprint, apart from children. So the part of the work we do for adults is basically for the repetition, and not us. Many people in this space. I mean, lots of organizations are working in this space. So yeah, go on. Stop me whenever.
No, so it's funny you brought that up, where you have programs for adults as well, because I'm also looking at it, and you've got work, you know, in the organizations as well as for hotels. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when we work with organizations in particular, we help them to manage their carbon footprint. So we help them to look at all the areas that there can be they can reduce their carbon footprint, if you like. And for hotels, we've created a program, which is again very much with the help of Footkin, sorry. We have packages for them, so they can constantly keep their guests um, um, on top of the environmental matters, if you like. So by having educational posters, stickers, notes in different areas, they can keep reminding their guests about environment. And so we call them, we call it that you have like eco subconscious guest at your hotel. So they help you to save whatever is your biggest priority in that part of the world. If it's water, if it's avoiding using detergents, if it's electricity, energy in any form, very small things that we may consider when we are at home, but for some reason, when we travel and when we are tourists, I don't know, I mean, maybe we sometimes we don't see the whole planet as our home, and we just see our home as our home. And when we travel to another country, then we are not that. Um, yeah, so that's the whole concept. So that's the program we've got for hotels, and it's one of our plans for the last quarter of this year to have a couple of campaigns in that space. We had a plan to do it during the pandemic and get ready for reopening of tourism, but we got engaged with something more important during the pandemic, and took us a while to manage that project. And I mean, you mentioned how we managed to survive with that type of organization. I should really say that pros and cons of that. I mean, basically, the only way you can manage this just with minimizing your costs. So because we don't sell anything, or we haven't sold anything so far, and we've never raised any money. We paid the whole all the expenses so far until this moment, and so the only way we have been able to manage this is just minimizing all the costs. So we don't get any salary ourselves. All the work is pro bono, and we hire freelancers to manage the mostly the material we need for the campaigns and for the marketing, and so for the very same reason, we've got a very limited bandwidth, which is probably not good, because we can be more effective, obviously, if we can manage a couple of projects at the same time. So last year, one of the project that completely took our bandwidth was a project that we created for the pandemic, for the COVID-19 itself, because we realized, and it was actually our first large non-environmental, or at least not directly relevant to environment, project. So we realized that children are very much affected by the virus and the pandemic, and shut down of everything. And so we created this material to educate them about the virus itself, to shift them from the panic space to a more comfortable space. So, I mean, it had some sort of like educational material about the virus, about hand washing, and about even about sneezing, etc. But it was like a holistic approach to the to the virus. So, to stay calm, to meditate, to eat healthy, to be active, all the things that can affect your health, and rather than just talking about creepy virus itself. And then at the back of that, we created a song for to replace singing happy birthday twice. I don't know. I mean, you remember
Yes.
everyone was talking about
Yes.
20 seconds that we have to wash our hands for
Correct.
20 seconds at least. And then to measure that, we were told that you can sing happy birthday twice. And then
Yeah.
I mean, I experienced that with my daughter, that it's probably a bit of, I mean, although she loves singing, but still it was a bit of boring for her, I think, singing it twice every time. So we created this song to replace that, and then we ran a campaign for that, which was called Wash Wash campaign, to again to educate children and make it fun for them to. So that was really last year. So apart from our a couple of ongoing projects, that was a new project we started. So yeah, so it's very
Was that
difficult really to.
was that campaign for a specific client, or was it something that Mind Your Footprint was doing anyways?
No, it wasn't for a specific client. It was a general campaign. At the time we thought we can, if we can run this as a campaign to increase people's awareness, and then we thought maybe we can raise money for NHS and WHO and all the key workers, etc. We started the campaign in the UK, and I mean, it's always learning really. The campaign was we created was about singing this particular song and dancing, and we had some we had lots of entries in the videos, but we got lots of videos and pictures from people, but nothing really near what we thought as a fundraising campaign it can be. So we dropped it and we changed it to a package for schools really, which has been I mean, since we changed the direction, it became a successful thing. It's always learning really. I mean, what I learned from that campaign was probably you should always consider which part of the world are more keen getting in front of the camera and doing a little bit of dance and hand washing and singing. We started in the UK, which I don't think is the best place for this type of campaign. I mean, there are other countries that people are more open to getting in front of camera, if you know what I mean. So we've had some we've had we're still the camp, still the it's live really. I mean, as long as COVID-19 is around, or as long as any virus is around, that the campaign still is useful. We've had some talk with some other groups in other parts of the world, particularly in Brazil, that are very keen to run the campaign and doing fundraising, which that might be the future of that campaign. I don't know.
Okay, that's nice. Now, speaking of campaigns, I think we're all quite interested to understand what this climate dice is, and it is one of the campaigns that you started off a Kickstarter campaign. Walk us through this whole thing. What was how did the idea and concept came about, and the whole process of the Kickstarter campaign, and where it is today?
Well, Climate Dice is probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life, I suppose. it's a project that I really love. It's a storytelling dice. It's I've got a set here. So this is Climate Dice. It's a very simple tool to reimagine a better future through storytelling. So this we created the first set of this back in 2019, and we had some plans to launch it last year, which for obvious reasons we didn't. As I said, I mean, we got engaged with other projects last year, particularly Keep Healthy and Wash Wash campaign. So we did it this year, and we started a Kickstarter campaign. We ran a Kickstarter campaign a couple of months ago for this, which was a successful campaign. And the concept of climate dice is you've got 6 dice, and on every side of every dice there is an image. And by looking at these, so for example, this one is particularly about animals. I mean, the whole concept is about climate change or climate crisis, if you like, but each dice has a theme. So, for example, this one, you've got, this is about animals. So you look at a polar bear, or you look at a shark, or you look at a bee. And then it usually starts with personal reflection. So you look at a bee and you think of flowers, and then you think of, and then it continues. You start with, oh, I love flowers, and then bees are very important, and you think of honey, and you think of the food chain. You think of the importance of bees. You think of wildflowers and how you can help bees, and you and the next step is imagination. So you can go wherever you want with the imagination, and then from imagination you go to taking action. So you think of nature and wildflowers, and you think, okay, maybe I can go and plant some wildflowers to help the bees. Or you can think of, I don't know, I mean, in the UK, one of the issues we experienced after the Brexit was reintroduction of some pesticides. So you can think, okay, when you become a rebel and say, I want to go and talk to my local authority or talk to government and ask them to ban these pesticides. So depending on your knowledge and your age and where you are with that topic, you can go anywhere you want. I mean, you look at a shark, and then you can remember. You can think of, I don't know, sea piracy, for instance, and things you learned from that beautiful documentary about sharks, and you can think of what you can do, and in terms of helping the oceans and life. So so you can play this differently. I mean, in many forums. You can play it in with, I mean, it can be 2 people, a group of people. You can take turns and create a story with 6 dice, or you can take 3 of them between 2 people. You can take turns, and I start a story with this and say, once upon a time, I was walking in nature, blah, blah, blah. And then you continue with your first dice, and then I go with my second dice, you go with your second dice. So we can build, make a story together, and has lots of benefits. I mean, apart from lots of proven benefits that storytelling dice or cubes has, apart from that, because the whole theme of these are about climate change, it's a very useful tool to address climate anxiety or eco-anxiety, and shift from that fear space to hope and reimagination, if you like. So you reimagine a new world, you imagine a new possibility, and it's also a very good tool for parents and educators and teachers to talk about this topic with young people, because it's a very sensitive space, because there are lots of fear and anxiety in that space. So this is a tool to explore that space and empower them. So with a little bit of guidance, if you do this with your son or with a group of people, you can guide the whole conversation to the place if you want to tell them, if you want to teach them something, again, this is a very good tool. So, for instance, if you want to talk about renewable energy, if you want to, you you get something like this, or something like this, and then you can guide the direction and teach them and tell them what are different types of renewable energy. Or you can talk about, this one is all about transportation. So you can look at this and talk about your next vacation and the trip you're going to have, or you can talk about fossil fuel and diesel cars, or you can just talk about benefits of healthy transport for yourself and for the environment. So because these pictures are not are not dictating anything, it's just an image. So it's up to you where you want to go with it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so it's a tool. It's a tool for educators, for parents to explore these areas, I suppose. And it's been very successful in terms of, we've got endorsed by um, very good people in different spaces. So from educators to university professors to people that really have a say in this space, have backed the project. And I'm very happy that the Kickstarter was a very good proof of concept for us, because
Mm-hmm.
it helped us to reach to a very wide community, both in terms of their willingness for buying a product, and in terms of people looking at benefits of this as a tool. And I should say, um, it, it took us to some spaces that we didn't um, um, think about it when we were designing this, which is quite interesting, because when we were designing this, we were looking at very young people. Although I work with organizations, but I never thought this can be a tool for, I don't know, board of directors. But interestingly enough, I've had conversations with experts in organizational behavior change, and some people showed lots of interest to take this to that space and try it with high level managers for brainstorming and decision making, which is quite interesting. We also had some interest from a couple of universities to explore this in that space, which is great. Um, so yeah, um, that's about climate dice, really. And the most important thing is, I mean, being working in this space with children and schools, we are going to donate a set of dice with every set of dice we sell, and we're going to send them to schools in remote parts of the world, mostly in global south. And we've been teaming up with organizations in countries now, which are going to distribute these, because we were talking about hundreds of thousands of sets of dice that should be distributed, and it's out
Mm-hmm.
of our own capability to do that. But again, this campaign helped us to reach to some organizations that we were not working with them before, and now we've partnered with a couple of organizations that are in place and on the ground, and they are happy to distribute these to schools. So right now we are nominating schools and get enough requests to pass them to those schools, because I believe it's a I mean, the reason I love this more than anything else is because it gives you hope. It lets you dream. So and without dreaming, we can't have it. I mean, if you can't imagine something, you can't have it. So this is a tool for not only imagination, it's a tool for reimagination. It's a
Mm-hmm.
tool for imagination of an alternative future, something that shouldn't be based on what we have now. It's it's different with looking at something and wanting it and imagining that maybe I can drive that car, for example, or maybe I can have that house. No, this is about reimagining a car, reimagining a place that you live in, reimagining a community, reimagining transport, reimagination of whatever that you're dealing with, whatever challenge you have in your community. That's that's the main reason that I love it more than anything I've done in the past. And it's the
How
first
much?
product, and it's the
Yeah.
first
So
product we are going to sell out there for the after more than a decade.
how long did it take from development to the realization that you're going to be shipping this out for sale?
Well, much longer than I don't know of comparing to I suppose a traditional toy company, if you like, or someone that has been in this space. We started we started this in early 2018, and the first prototype we had in hand in 2019, and this is the third prototype to kind of like improve the design as well as the size and the basically the durability of the images on the device itself. I mean, we've been experiencing unusual things. I mean, these days, for example, we clean everything with antibacterial tissues, which obviously tend to wipe things. Not only the bacteria and virus, but also the images as well. So we've had lots of playing with ideas, and we've had lots of experience. So this is the third round and the final one, and we are very close to mass production of this, and yeah, we will get the first product for distribution in August. So we are almost there. We are very close to, and it's going to be zero plastic packaging. Again, another challenge, which is really a big challenge, because I mean, consider when was the last time you had something in your hand zero plastic? I mean, your package that, I don't know, comes to your door without a package, and we're not talking about you walking to a shop and refill your, I don't know, your own shampoo bottle. We're talking about a product that can be sent to you. So yeah, zero plastic, and hopefully out there in August.
Fantastic. All the best on that. Now, very quickly, I'm just looking at our chat box, and we've got two questions. Perhaps we will just very quickly address them. One is from Chen Fa. Any advice for budding social entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think if I want to, I've got many advice, but if I want to say the best one is never forget your reason. Always consider what is the effect or change or impact you want to make, and always consider that in every step along the way. I suppose that gives you that's the only thing gives you power, I think. And I keep moving by picturing the impact I want to make. I'm personally a very shy person, and probably one of the reasons that we never really looked at raising fund for a non-profit we were managing is that. But this, when I talk about climate dice, I forget myself and I shift. When you look at the impact you're going to make, you shift from space you are to that space of, and then you go to a different level of energy, if you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the best thing I can say for social entrepreneurs: never forget your reason and impact.
That's very nice. Second question. This is from the International Malaysia Charity Organization. It says here, "Hi Pendar, I am CEO here, Malaysian-based NGO. How can a small-scale NGO integrate environmental values into their goals?"
Well, I don't think you can integrate them into your goals. They should be there from the first place. I mean, environmental values are part of us now. I mean, I think it's the only way of being. Environmental values and are integrated with social values, I suppose, and I think it's the only way of being. I mean, you can't separate them. If you look at them as the only way of existence, then it will be integrated. Never separate them. Then you don't need to integrate them. Just see them as the only way of existence, and then you will be fine.
Okay, I guess we will have one last question before we move on to your closing statements. It's an Arif here asking, is the climate dice going to be available for online purchase? So I know you just ended the Kickstarter campaign, and I assume that's rolling out in August, as you mentioned. But what about general online purchase?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we created we moved from Kickstarter to in demand on Indiegogo. So if you want, you can go to Indiegogo. There is a platform called In Demand on the Indiegogo, which is it's like a place to place orders. So you can go there and place order, and you will be among the first people who will receive the dice in August. But once that is finished and then the product is out there, we will sell them on Amazon and on Climate Dice website as well. So yes, it will be available for sale, definitely.
Okay, we will be sure to share that Indiegogo link, and hopefully our viewers will be able to take a look at that as well. Now, final thoughts from Pendar. What's in the pipeline? What's next for Mind Your Footprint? We've heard extensively about Climate Dice. That's just going to be rolling out soon. So perhaps it's a little bit too soon to ask about 2.0. But Mind Your Footprint itself, what's going to happen?
Well, we've got lots of projects, really. I mean, the only issue at the moment is bandwidth, as I mentioned. We are expanding. We are hiring a couple of positions, and we've got a couple of projects. I mean, apart from the ones that I mentioned, we've created an app which we will launch in 2 months, and it's an app for children to. I mean, as one of the parents that we work with, put it. It's screen without any guilt. So screen time with no guilt for children. So there are lots of activities for young children, like colorings and puzzles and maze and different things like memory match and these sorts of things, but all with a message at the end. So while you're playing, you learn about environmental topics, and it's just very much in line with what I told you about becoming eco-subconscious. So so that's the next that's the next project to launch. We are now in we just finished our beta test and got some feedback from users and improved the app. So it will be out soon. And we've got a couple of more games in the pipeline, which hopefully we launch in Q4. So our aim is to provide with different games and toys for parents who are worried about or parents who are looking for alternative toys and games, like screen time. But yes, so these are not only sustainable end to end. So, for example, a toy that is just made of sustainable material, and but also encourage you to think about all the topics of that you can imagine about sustainability and environmental issues. So to address the challenges we are going to face in the next couple of decades.
That looks like a very packed 6 months ahead for you and the team, Pendar. But
yes.
It's a lot of amazing work. I mean, truly inspiring. I think a lot of the social entrepreneurs, the NGOs here in Malaysia would really, take a leaf out of your journey and your little bits of nuggets, gold nuggets that you've just dropped off for us. I'm sure they're gonna be picking up a lot of that. And from us here in Malaysia, all the best to you, Pendar.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And if there is any organization among your audience who is willing to distribute Climate Dice to schools in Malaysia, I would be more than happy to have a chat with them.
Great. We will definitely be leaving your contact details. Anyway, it's already on the website, rejuvenatemy.com. You can get in touch with Pendar there. Whether it's through LinkedIn, Pendar is also on Clubhouse as well. So get in touch with him. You never know, you'll be in the room with him as well and hear him talk a little bit more about Climate Dice and what he does. So Pendar, thank you very much from us here in Malaysia. It's 8:20 p.m. over here, and I guess it's just about lunch for you.
Yes, yeah, my pleasure.
Great.
Keep imagination rolling, as we say with Climate Dice.
Yes, that's right. You take care. So
take care,
ladies and gentlemen. That was Pendar, and just to share with everybody, we do have day 2 of Rejuvenate Edition 1 tomorrow. We will start at 10:45 in the morning. We have got Lottie Dowling from Australia, and then we continue on after lunch with Aro Ajoni, who is in Malaysia. Then we head on down up to Oslo, Norway, for a chat with Teddy Slavcheva. Then we head to the East Coast for Jimo Sorodio in the US, and then we close off edition 1 of Rejuvenate 2021 with Daryl Benally, who is a Navajo, what do you call this, indigenous member. So that's a packed full day 2. We do hope you continue to stay with us. The site for you to continue to watch this is through rejuvenatemy.com. Otherwise, you can catch us on Facebook on Synapse, and we hope to get in touch with everybody, and we hope you have got a great day one together with us. So Pendar, again, thank you very much. We will see you again. Keep in touch and stay safe.
My pleasure. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.